Hello everybody and welcome back. It is Jeff again coming to you on the Mindcrack server, and today what I need to get working on is preparing for the item sorting system, and to do that I'm gonna need a bunch of trees. So I don't have that many trees planted anymore because I moved everything in here, and I see the spider dancing around. Man, you can like completely disappear in the nether wart. I did not know that that would happen. I did see that creeper creeping. There he is. Why are you going so slow, buddy? Good. Taken care of. Excuse me. Oh, got the hiccups. I didn't actually know that I had trees planted here, but it looks like these trees are going to be slightly problematic because it was one of these trees. I hate these trees. I should make a ceiling cap on this. I don't remember exactly how many it is to make the ceiling cap, but man, look, this tree is spread like wildfire up here. Gotta make sure we get this thing taken care of. So today's gonna be a lot of tedious work while I just work on, you know, planting trees, bone mealing them, harvesting wood, things like that, climbing in them apparently occasionally in order to take care of these big type of trees. So what should we talk about? Let's talk about TV. So I don't know about you guys. I think I've talked about this before. I really get addicted to watching stupid things like cooking shows. I like watching when what was it called? The next Food Network star I got really into this year, specifically because of Lenny the Cowboy. That was awesome. That dude was hilarious. And amazingly, I haven't seen him on anything else since, which is kind of weird. So I'm kind of waiting until he gets onto more stuff. I had seen him on something before. I want to say it was called, like, is it The Taste? One of those food shows, they have a panel of judges that they go up against, and they bring them, like, one little taste of the dish, and it's always a blind taste test, as in the judges don't know who it is that brings them the food. And there's 4 of them, if I recall. And there's 4 judges, and they each like pick their team or whatnot. I just want to make sure I got everything from up here. What? Oh, that's snow carpets. I was like, what are those blocks up there? It's just snow carpets. Okay. And each judge picks like their team that they want to do the cooking and things like that. So the judges are essentially competing against each other. But what really happens is they end up voting at the end on the dish that I can't remember if it's the one that they like the most or the one that they liked the least, or maybe it's a mix of both in this show. And they don't know. They could be voting against the person that's on their team because it's a blind taste test. And I actually find those shows extremely entertaining and a lot more fair because of the fact that they, you know, it's all blind. So you're doing it completely and solely based on how do you like the dish, not throughout a season how much do you like somebody, which is what I do feel like some of the shows do devolve into. It's just that they get a better connection with one of the people and they end up winning because, you know, they like that person a lot more than somebody else. So I do like it when they're the blind taste tests. I really think that that's a cool and nice way to go about doing things, but not all shows are like that. So one of the shows that we've been watching lately is that, well, there's Top Chef. Top Chef is really good, and that's just a bunch of like actual really good chefs from around the nation who are now competing for the title of Top Chef, and I think $125,000 or something like that. So it's nothing to sneeze at for sure. I love that show. I think it's great. It's I think the finale on it is coming up this week, as well as you can't dislike a show that I already forgot the name of. Hell's Kitchen. I was like, I'm drawing a blank on the name. There's so many different cooking shows out there. Hell's Kitchen, you gotta love Gordon Ramsay just yelling and screaming at everybody. It is phenomenal. It's hilarious. I love Hell's Kitchen. I love MasterChef as well. And actually, I recently started watching MasterChef Canada because it was on like the BBC. Why MasterChef Canada was on the BBC, I'm not really sure. But either way, it's the exact same premise as MasterChef, and it's actually got some hilarious judges. And it was for a spin-off type show, well, I mean, it's in the same franchise or whatever, but sometimes they're like, you could take this or leave this. Like, Chopped is a great one, but Chopped Canada came out with actually one of the winners of Rachel versus Guy Celebrity Cook-Off, I believe it was. One of the winner of that, he was the host of MasterChef Canada, and I don't think it did so well. Maybe it's still on, I don't know, but it was very difficult to watch. It was very dry and very hard to maintain focus and things like that, but that's neither here nor there. MasterChef Canada is actually a really good one that I really did enjoy to watch. Those ones, however, are all straight up just judges make a decision, or in the case of Hell's Kitchen, Gordon Ramsay ultimately makes the decision. There's never a winner or a loser based on the challenge. Like, you don't lose because you failed the challenge. You lose because you could fail the challenge and still go on, because Gordon Ramsay could be like, well, I like you, I see heart in you, I see energy, I see spirit, you're still gonna move on. He doesn't really talk like that, but I made him sound out to be like a really cool sounding guy, but that's not the stuff that he says at all. He's usually like, you're not shit, I know that you're not shit, you might be able to get your ass out of your head out of your ass and actually pull this thing out, so I'll give you another chance. That's more how Gordon Ramsay would talk in those situations. Beat Bobby Filet is a show that, or Beat Bobby Flay, I always call him Filet. Flay is another show that's blind taste tests. I love that one because it's actually against Bobby Flay himself and their blind taste tests. You do wonder the validity of the blind taste test, or if the judges who actually get to choose somehow know, you know, beforehand, and if there's a ploy. You never know. You can never really trust, you know, TV and reality TV shows, especially, on whether they're being honest with everything or not, but that's besides the point as well. So basically, though, today I was watching the second to last episode of this season's Worst Cooks of America. And if you haven't seen Worst Cooks of America, it's really cool because they take people who are predominantly known to be very horrible cooks by their family and friends, but the people that think that they can cook something but they really can't, and they bring them on to teach them how to cook. And it's funny because they choose the worst people that they can find that would make good, entertaining TV value. And you take those people, and then you bring them into the show, where then you get rid of them for still being the worst people, which is really weird, because the whole reason that they're on the show is because they're so bad, and then once they get on the show, you're like, nope, you're too bad, can't do it. Kind of entertaining because they have to get better to move on, but either way. So Worst Cooks in America is really funny. It's Ann Burrell, and this year it's versus Tyler, I don't remember his name. Tyler Durden. Well, Tyler Durden. It's you know, that show. Oh my God, how can I not remember the show? I'm trying to make all these references, but if I can't remember the name of the show that I'm referencing, it really doesn't matter. Fight Club. That's it. It's a Fight Club reference. It's a Fight Club cooking show. That's what we'll go with. No, obviously it's not. It's not Tyler Durden. I don't remember his last name, but for a couple of years it was the. Oh my God, hold on. Sorry, I just had to go look to make sure I didn't, like, put out false information here. It started out with Ann Burrell versus Robert Irvine, and then when the whole scandal and controversy came out about Robert Irvine and truly not having, like, a culinary degree or all the credentials that he had, I think he got fired from the show, from what the rumors have it. But though he's still a great cook, he's very self-taught, great cook, and still does amazing things. But they replaced him with Bobby Filet for a couple seasons, and now it's Tyler, and I can actually see his name. Oh, I could see his name. I just scrolled past it. Go on. His name is gone. It's not going to be found. It's Tyler. We'll just go with Tyler. So now it's them, and they get their little teams together, and they try to make their team better. And then the finale ends up, they choose who they think can best represent them at a panel of, like, food critics and things like that. And they send them out there to cook meals and see who wins. And it's not blind, if I recall. I actually don't remember the finale. Most of the show is not blind. I don't think the finale is blind, but I actually could be wrong on that. I'd have to go look into that for a minute. But the whole point that I was getting at with this has nothing to do with all these different food shows. It has to do with the episode that we watched today. Specifically, it was the one that determines the 2 people that get taken to the end. So they're down to 4 people, and there's 1 person from each team gets eliminated every single week, and it's now down to, man, another one of these big ass trees grew. It's now down to 4 people, and at the end of the episode they're supposed to whittle it down to 2 people. So 1 for Tyler, that's representing Tyler, and 1 that's representing Amberell. And we watch most of the episode, and they finish out, they do their challenge, and today, coincidentally, well, no, I guess it wasn't really blind. They did it they cooked for their families, and their families ate blind, but then they told them who, but they didn't make the decision, so ultimately the challenge was not a blind challenge at all, because they still made the ultimate decision based on how they thought the contestants did during the cooking time, and how they thought that they could actually do on their own to cook for these, you know, high-level food critics and things like that. But they finished eating, and they were getting ready to make the decision, and you know, about 5 minutes before the show ends, they always put like a commercial out there and keep everybody suspense. That's when you're going to get like your greatest commercial time, because now you're not going to stop watching the show because you want to, you know, you're like, it's only 5 minutes left, I don't need to watch this anymore. No, now you want to know who's going to the finale. I gotta see it. It's like Survivor. I gotta know who gets voted out. So I'll watch any commercials near the end at all, because I'm gonna stick this out. I've come this far. I'm almost there. I gotta do this, baby. So in this last commercial break, like the very first commercial that they show, and this happens very often, is a commercial for the show itself, which I find kind of funny when they do that and the time slots or anything don't change. It's like, what's the point in wasting the advertising revenue on the show that people are currently watching during the time slot you're advertising it for? Like, I get it when you're having a special night and special time, or it's like a 2-hour finale or something like that. I get that. You gotta let people know, advertise that, but it's literally like, you know, next week at this same time on this same channel is the finale. So it's like, whatever, like waste of advertisement revenue, but that's what they do anyway. So they did that, but the thing is, they did such a horrible job at editing this commercial, or just it was poor placement. Usually when they do that to trick you, they'll make it so they'll have clips in there so that you don't know who won. This blatantly just showed you the 2 people battling it out in the final episode, standing there, getting their instructions, and then starting cooking. The 2 people that went to the end, and Julie was watching it with me, and she goes, they did not just do that garbage. And I was like, well, maybe they're trying to trick us. I'm trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're trying to trick us, and it was the 2 completely opposite people, and they just took, you know, old clips to make it look like it was them in the finale. And, I mean, it wasn't even like a mistake that they didn't fade the camera fast enough. It was blatant that this commercial is advertising the finale for these 2 specific people. Like, these 2 people made it to the end. Now see how they do against each other type of deal. And I was like, I was so skeptical that commercial could be real. I was so hoping it was a Food Network troll, but no, alas, they literally just screwed up completely and put out there in the commercial before they advertised it on the show exactly who won. Because yes, maybe they did their thing. Maybe people were like me and they figured that they'd glue people to the set even more, because I was like watching it hardcore, because I'm like, I can't miss this now because I'm so hoping for the troll. I'm so hoping for the troll. That was not a troll at all. I would bet it was a complete accident, and I'm surprised networks let stuff like that happen. Like, you're a major network. This is what you do for a living. You do this in every season. Yet, you just completely blew the ending. That'd be like, I mean, I guess they kind of did that this year with Survivor. If you guys watch the Survivor podcast, which, by the way, should be coming up again pretty soon. So I think a new season of Survivor starts in like a week or 2, if I recall. But they did that in Survivor where they advertised, or it was the scenes from the next Survivor. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. Like, none of this stuff makes any sense. It's because they accidentally used last season's scenes from the next Survivor, and it was when something huge happened that didn't happen at all. It was about them drawing rocks, and it showed them drawing rocks, and it was saying, like, for the, only the second time in Survivor history. And I kept telling Guude on the show, I'm like, dude, they're going to draw rocks. They're going to draw rocks. And he kept telling me I was crazy. And sure enough, I was crazy. But luckily, we found documentation that proved that they had actually played the wrong commercial. And it was one about them drawing rocks when it definitely should not have been about them drawing rocks at all. And so I guess networks do that. And that baffles me. I think Netflix just did that like yesterday. They accidentally, for those of you who are House of Cards fans, I am a House of Cards fan as well. And I actually tell you, it's a show that I did not think I was going to be able to get into because it's so political and this and that. And the first couple episodes, I tried to watch it. Julia really liked it, so I stuck it out. They were really, really dry and made it really hard, but then it got really good. But they released those on Netflix in full seasons at a time, and there's been 2 seasons so far, but they release them full seasons at a time. Well, I guess the new one, which I don't even know, season 3 is slated to come out in like 2 weeks from now, so I'm getting a little bit excited. But I guess yesterday, they accidentally published them. They made them all live, season start to end. They made them all live on accident, and then had to like retract them 20 minutes later. So I'm not sure how much people got to see. In theory, some people could have snuck in and seen all the finales. They could have just jumped to the very last episode knowing it was a fluke, or even maybe that's how they watch it, knowing it was a fluke, whatever their circumstance. They could have watched a big chunk of the last episode and in theory have all of the knowledge of what happens at the end of the next season. It's possible. So how ironic. Speaking of the whole thing yesterday with Google taking over the world, they just pop up on my screen just came up telling me how long it's going to take me to get to work. It's nighttime. I work tomorrow morning. I've worked in daytime for a couple weeks now, and it's in my calendar that I work in the daytime. I don't know why they would do that. That's a lot of chests, but that's still not enough chests. But so yeah, they accidentally put all of them live, and I'm sure somebody's probably gonna maybe not get fired over that, but that's a regular chest. Trap chest, regular chest. Okay, here we go. I should have all these facing the same way. Oh, they are facing the same way. Okay. I was getting some chests laid out to get prepared for this. I gotta go make some of these into traps chests in order to ensure I have everything. Now, yeah, I in theory can still put this here. There we go. And then I can either turn it on this back wall, or it can go straight this way. Maybe we'll just build this part of it first. And go from here. There we go. So turn a bunch of these into trapped chests, and then I need to make a bunch of hoppers. But it amazes me that, they would... A commercial can screw up their entire business plan for what they're trying to do out there. I mean, completely screw up everything that they've been working for like an entire season. Very, very, very possible for that to happen. I don't need that many by any stretch of the imagination. I'm trying to do this. Is this going to be... This is probably not going to be enough. Oh, yeah, it makes 2 of them, so it might be enough. Let's see if that's enough. I'll try to get these trap chests down. God, that's plenty enough. I only need like 32 of them, I bet, right now. It scared me for a minute. I was like, don't tell me I can't put these down. That's actually probably way more chests than I needed if I'm only doing this half for now. But I will need these chests later for when I continue working on this and expanding it a little bit. There we go. Boom, boom. So this is going to be one side of the item sorting system. And be all good. I mean, it looks beautiful thus far, right? That's a regular chest. I could put another one right here. Oh, wait. Oh, regular chest. Regular chest. There we go. So, like that. I could put another one there if I wanted to. I could even put another one right there. And have it go all the way to the end wall. Or maybe make that one the overflow. I mean, for me, this actually might be enough for now, especially just to get base organized. But it's just so many hoppers that are going to go into it and things. So hopefully we'll see. Oh, I made this door over here just so I could throw a chest next to it. But so I could come keep an eye on the farm, check you guys out. But yeah, commercials throw me off when they can really screw up a whole show like that. Like I was disappointed. Thank God it didn't happen. Like it wasn't one of the pre-advertisements for the show and ruin the entire show. It only ruined the last 5 minutes of it, but it still ruined a small portion of it. For Julia, for me, it didn't, because I was so on my feet about hoping it was going to be the troll. Whereas now, if I see that again, now I'm going to be like, these guys screwed it up again. Anyways, making a little bit of progress here. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.